Hey! What drug me out of my hole? Where have I been for months? What could possibly bring me back? I was gonna make a video talking about just my current displeasure with wrestling in general, since like the disappointment that John Cena heel turn has been, just all kind, just after WrestleMania, I just kind of checked out for a while, man. But Hulk Hogan died this morning. I'm kind of not conflicted on this. I mean, it's sad. It is. When I was a kid, man, Hulk Hogan was it. He was the guy. When I was a little kid, before like Bret Hart, Hulk Hogan was my guy, man. And he's got a complicated legacy. Like, nobody can deny, nobody can like even put a shadow of a doubt on the fact that, like, if it's not for Hulk Hogan, none of us are here. I mean, there's like wrestling fans like in this space talking about wrestling the way we do WrestleMania. Like, none of this shit exists without Hulk Hogan. That's a fact. But was he a good person? Not really. I mean, I'm sure he was good to his family and his friends and, like, you know, things like that. I mean, but like overall, is just like a decent human being? Not so much, man. He died this morning, cardiac arrest, they say, and even that, I mean, even that's got this big shroud of mystery around it. We'll talk about that in a minute. But like, he had a cardiac arrest at his home in Clearwater, Florida. Probably about 8:30 this morning. They worked on him for about a half hour, took him to the hospital. He was pronounced dead at the hospital. 71 years old, which, like, I mean, that's not ancient, man. I mean, it's not ancient. It's sad. It is. Hulk Hogan was like my first big wrestling hero. He really was. The WWF just does not happen in the way that it is today. Just not happening without him. It's not. He became a worldwide phenomenon in the mid 80s. Just, he got popular in the Rocky movie, was in the AWA for a while, and Vern Gagne just totally fumbled that shit. Vince McMahon was wanting to go national with his promotion, and he needed somebody to carry that ball. And Hogan had the look, he had the charisma, he had the rap, he did, like, he was a comic book character come to life. Nobody in wrestling looked like him at the time. It's pretty commonplace to see all these jacked up dudes in wrestling now, but that's not what wrestling was when Hogan got in. So nobody in wrestling looked like him at that time except Billy Graham, and even Hogan would tell you he was a Billy Graham ripoff. But man, today I'm just kind of choosing to remember the Hulk Hogan character from when I was a kid, because like a giant part of my childhood just died this morning, and I've got to acknowledge that. I mean, he was a huge part of my childhood, man. But I mean, we can't talk about the impact that he had on wrestling and all that and still not talk about the man. I mean, Hulk Hogan's worst enemy was Terry Bollea, and that was Hogan's real name. Like I was at WrestleMania 30 in New Orleans, and this was about dang, I want to say about maybe 8 months before like all that Bubba the Love Sponge big N-word fiasco dropped. And at WrestleMania 30 in 2014, you would be hard pressed to find somebody other than Stone Cold Steve Austin that night or Daniel Bryan that got a better reception than Hulk Hogan. Everybody in that building absolutely loved him. And if that would have been his swan song, because honestly, like, if that would have been his swan song, and if none of that, like, if anything past 2014 would have never happened, he probably would have died today as, like, one of the most beloved figures in wrestling history. And for a lot of people, he is that. And very understandably so. But then for a lot of other people, and you can't blame them either. Because, like, on that tape that he made when he was banging Bubba the Love Sponge's wife, he said some foul shit. Unforgivable shit that he never really apologized for. He like went on Good Morning America and said some stuff like, oh, that's just a word we used in the South, brother, when we were just hanging and banging and, you know, with our black friends, and we throw that A in there. Dude, for one, you didn't say that word with an A on the end. And for two, bro, you did not grow up in the 1990s. You grew up in the 1960s. Wasn't no white dude in the South saying that word with reverence to their black friends. Believe me on that. So, like, you have that. And then you have the issue with, like, dude, here's the thing. Hulk Hogan lived a very, very, very charmed life. This man changed an entire industry twice. Changed an industry twice. This dude did not have to lie about anything, did not have to fabricate anything, did not have to embellish anything. His legacy was set in stone. But he still chose to lie about everything, man. Everything that came out this dude's mouth was some bullshit. From almost being the basis to Metallica, which they laughed at when they heard that, to, like, this one I find reprehensible. He said he was wrestling a show in Wembley Stadium. And he was there, and they brought some little kid back to see him, some little Make-A-Wish kid. And he said, I'm going to go out there and win that match for you, brother. And they're going to set you in the front row. And I went out there to wrestle, and I looked for that kid in the front row, and he wasn't there. And it turned out that he died right after he saw me. Which that sounds like an amazing story. There's just one issue with that. WWF has run one show at Wembley Stadium, and it was in 1992. Hogan wasn't even with the company in 92. Hulk Hogan has never wrestled at Wembley Stadium. And just things like that. Things you don't have to lie about. This dude would just lie about. Like, he said, man, the George Foreman girl was almost the Hulk Hogan girl, except I missed that phone call that day, brother. Bullshit. Like, the dude that owned the company came out and said that was bullshit. But it's just like, you lived a very charmed life, man. You fucking changed the industry you were in twice. But some people are just habitual liars like that, man. And it's just a shame. Because this dude should be being, like, and by a lot of people he is being celebrated. Like I said, rightfully so. Rightfully so. But there's just this, but for a lot of people, and rightfully so, like, there's just this cloud hanging over this legacy that he earned. He earned the legacy. He earned the wrestling legacy he has. He earned that. But he also earned that black cloud. He was he drew the absolute biggest show in the history of wrestling for the longest time. Him and Andre the Giant packed almost 90,000 people in for WrestleMania 3. That would, for 1987, that's fucking amazing. He changed the industry twice. He did it in 84, him and Vince, when they took the WWF and changed the wrestling product. They geared it towards kids. They geared it towards kids that were like my age at that time. And they definitely got me with it. And then in WCW, when he went there, he saw that character was getting stale. And he was hesitant to change, but he did it. He went heel and like helped form the NWO with Kevin Nash and Scott Hall. And that changed the industry. Like, this dude changed the industry twice. Celebrate this man. He fucking deserves it. You know what I mean? Like, yes, he said some horrible racist shit. Yes, he was big in on the conspiracy theory shit. People hate that dude, and they got a reason to hate him. I'm not the biggest Hulk Hogan fan in the world. I thought, like, for real, I'm not. When I was a kid, I was. But just the way he conducted business with other wrestlers and the racist shit fucking lost me. The fucking just constantly lying about everything. That fucking, like, bro, like him, like, in the 80s, nobody was bigger than him and Ric Flair. And those two dudes just cannot keep their, like Hogan, God rest his soul. Flair, he cannot keep his fucking mouth shut either, man. It's like the two most powerful dudes that were in wrestling in the 80s just seem to be like the weakest, most insecure, man. And like, this time's gonna come for Flair too, and people are gonna be saying the same shit. He's done more to damage his legacy since he's retired than, you know? But like, it's sad Hulk Hogan is dead, man. It really is. A big part of me is heartbroken. It really is, man. Because I believed in that character, the say your prayers, eat your vitamins, all that shit, you know. I believed in that when I was a little kid. But the man he really was, it is what it is. But like, as far as like pro wrestling goes, for real, celebrate that man. Give him his fucking flowers. He deserves them, man. Thank you, Hulk Hogan. For real. All right, guys. See ya.